Okay, welcome to our class. A new week has come, and we are focusing on audio for this next unit. So we kind of move away from the graphic design, the web design that we have been doing. And by the way, I need to still grade most of your simple HTML website assignments. So I'll get to that hopefully within today. Anyway, this week we are moving on to audio pre-production. And you're going to be moving toward a project due on April 7th called the Podcast Project. So let's take a look at this project itself. All right, so for graduate ELRN 540 students, you will create a podcast theme and then develop 2 episodes of your podcast theme. And each episode must be between 3 to 10 minutes in length. These episodes must also feature good recording quality, sound balance, engaging voice, good structure, and episode-to-episode consistency. And be sure that the volume level of your podcast is not too high or too low. Podcast episodes must also have a signature sound or music clip that is featured in both episodes. And then add sound effects into each episode of the podcast that fit with the theme of the podcast. And then you'll also edit out mistakes in your podcast episodes before posting them. Okay, so that's for graduate students. For undergrad students, you'll create a podcast theme and then develop an episode that fits the theme. And the episode, just one episode is basically the difference. There's 2 episodes for graduate students, 1 episode for undergraduate students. But all the other elements apply. You need to make sure you have good recording quality, sound balance, and engaging voice and good structure. And add sound effects and a music clip to each episode, or to the one episode. For all students, the podcast topic is up to you. So it can be something that hopefully you are you're encouraged to focus on something that you know about or have prior experience with, though, so that way you're not just shooting from the hip, so to speak, that you are actually coming up with things that you actually know about and talk about. This will make it easier for you to make the podcast work well. And one podcast episode could also include an interview with a person. If you're a graduate student, you have to make those 2 episodes. One of those could be an interview with a person who's knowledgeable in your chosen podcast theme. And when you're done with the recording and editing process, you will post both episodes online using a podcasting site. And so to hand in this assignment, you'll upload a Word document containing a link to the online podcast episodes. So really the process for creating podcast involves recording it first, and that doesn't involve any specific site that you might upload it to yet. You just record it on your computer first. And then later on you can worry about whether what site you're going to upload this podcast to. Podomatic's probably the best one that we use in this class, and it's free, so that's nice. Although it does have limits on how much space it will allow. So, and then here's here's the rubric for how you'll be graded. For undergrad students, remember you just have to have 1 episode. For graduate students, you have to have 2, and episode-to-episode consistency. So that is the assignment that we're working toward, and we're starting to learn about audio by starting with audio pre-production and taking a look at some of these things that we have for this week. So if we take a look at, so we have chapter 12, reading on design for social media, and that's a little bit different. It's just an opportunity to finish out the book kind of, although it doesn't necessarily relate to audio. And then kind of the big part is to install Audacity and learn about it a little bit. So install it and try to understand how it works, because this is the software that you're probably going to use to create this assignment. So you're going to go to this website and click the download link for your operating system and install this on a laptop. And so yeah, it does have to be downloaded and installed in order for it to work, but it's a great piece of software, and what's nice about it too is that it's open source and free. And then there's also a quick help guide that links to there, so you can start to learn about that. Then what I want you to do is take a look at podcasts. So it says take an hour or so to review some existing podcasts to get a feel for how they are done. And you can find some exemplary ones by going to iTunes and doing a search for podcasts there. You can also find great podcasts at Podomatic and NPR and also podsearch.com. So you can look through those different sites, whichever one you want to choose. And when you find a podcast, be sure to listen to at least 2 different episodes of the same podcast. And that will get you a feel for how the episodes share a similar structure. And you can kind of see that, and that's what you're going to be expected to do for if you're a graduate student, to make sure the episodes have the same maybe beginning music clip, the beginning sounds or similar types of sound effects, maybe a same intro or opening, and ending as well, same ending. So that's the podcast assignment, and that's how to get ready for it this week. But I do want to give some instruction on Audacity as well today, and just talking about this software called Audacity. So I have it installed on my own computer, and here's what it looks like. It's a multi-track audio editor, and works quite well. So for instance, I can choose which microphone I want to record with. And by the way, when you do record any audio, you'll want to find your best microphone to do this. And if you have one that is not just the one built into your computer or laptop, that's probably going to be better than the one built in, because you can put that microphone closer to your mouth. And I happen to have a headset with a microphone built in, so if you have something like that, that's probably the best thing to use for recording. If you have just one of the Apple headphones, for instance, with like a built-in microphone that kind of hangs down, that will work as well. So that's the thing you want to choose as your input device here, or your microphone device, and I'm choosing my wireless Logitech mic right here. And then you just basically hit record, and you want to check to make sure that these are going up and down. Now I'm recording my screen, so I don't think this will work to actually record that right now, or to show, it won't show our monitors, but basically to record something, you just hit record, and I'd say, hello, this is Greg Frankum talking right now to you. And then hit stop, and you've got a nice recording here. You can play it back. And I say, hello, this is Greg Frankum talking right now to you. So there it is, and I've recorded my first voice recording. The trick with Audacity too is making sure that these little lines, the trick is to make them go to near the top of this area, but not to ever go past it. It's called clipping when they go past that top. If they're too loud, for instance, they'll clip and go past it. So let me show you an example of that. I can just hit this X and that will delete that piece that I just recorded. Hello! So if you notice there, the items clip and they go past this line. And that is not good, because if I play it back, you'll probably hear some clipping maybe. Hello! You hear kind of a buzzing with the voice when that happens, and that's not good. So I'm going to delete that one. Try one more. Hello everybody, and welcome to my recording today. So if you notice again, I've clipped it a bit. It goes past that line. Hello everybody, and welcome to my... Now in a recording, you can have maybe one or two little clips that happen over a period of a minute's recording or something like that, but you certainly don't want to be clipping a lot more than that, so just be careful with that. But you also, the trick is to make it also close to the edge, not just a little bit like these little ones. You want to make sure it's close to the edge. That gives you an idea of how hard it is to do audio, I guess, but making those work well. Now with Audacity, I can also remove a piece of this. Let's say I didn't like a cough or a sneeze or some noise that I didn't want in here. I can actually take this and remove it as well. So that's what it allows you to do, which is nice. I just hit my backspace button right there, and it took that whole section out. And so you can go back through and you can select an area as long as you have this tool here, and you can hit backspace and delete it. So, quick assignment for this week. What I want you to do, just for a special assignment, is to record maybe 10 to 30 seconds in Audacity, so that I know you have it installed and can record with it. 10 to 30 seconds of your voice, and then just email me that. So once you have recorded something, here's how you save it. You go to Export Audio, and you can choose the type of file. Usually MP3 is good, and you might have to do a little bit of extra work to get the MP3 feature working. If that is not working, you could always choose a WAV or an AIFF. Probably WAV is the better one here. So format as MP3 files, save it somewhere. I just put recording my voice and hit save. And you can enter in information here, but you don't necessarily have to. But it will export it now, and you can just send that file to me. So that's just a quick thing to do to email it to me. My email is gregory.frankum@northern.edu. I'll pull that up again. I don't know if we've used email this semester much because we use Remind. I don't know if Remind won't allow attachments, so let me just get a Word document open here. Here's my email. There we go, gregory.frankum@northern.edu. If you just email that to me, then I know that you have it up and working, and Audacity is running on your computer, and you can record something with it. So be sure to do that this week as well. Send me an email with just your voice for 10 to 30 seconds, nothing special. Next week you'll get into more special things of maybe finding where to add music, where to get some music maybe to add to your podcast or sound effects, and also maybe balancing things a little bit better. But this week is just a fact of just recording a little bit, send that to this email, and then that way I know you've got it installed and can record. Okay, well, I think that's about it for this week. So I'll close that out, and I'll probably, so we've got the different activities for this week in preparation for the podcast assignment. So good luck with this week, and hopefully things go well for you.